Hey, welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. Thank you for joining the show. I am your host, Coach Tripp. We have a special guest for you tonight on our local sports report here on Thursday night. Marty Stanovich, Executive Director of the First Tee Gulf Coast. Marty, thanks for taking the time to spend with us tonight.
Oh, Coach, it's always great to be with you. Thank you for asking me.
You know, I'll start out from the beginning. Father's Day is in a couple of weeks, and my dad was a sports nut and started a lot of youth sports leagues in my community. And your dad was an amazing guy. Talk a little bit about growing up and spending your time and the influence your dad had on you.
Well, he was an incredible man. He fought in the Pacific Theater in World War II. He was not. He was going to be a commercial fisherman, is what he thought growing up in upstate Washington, just outside of Bellingham. But he decided to make a career in the military. He was in the Navy, then the Army Air Corps, then the Air Force, and retired E8 from the Air Force. And while he was in the services, he picked up the game of golf, and he was an all-services champion. He absolutely passionate about the game. He became a PGA member he was elected to the PGA of America in 1955 by correspondence course while he was serving in Korea. And
oh my gosh.
Yes. So he got out in 64. He had fallen in love with the Gulf Coast, and he had been stationed at both Eglin and Hurlburt in his time in the military. And he moved here, and in 1965 he purchased a piece of property and had a par 3 golf course over on Michigan Avenue in central Pensacola that became a hub of junior golf, and had a driving range and a practice facility and 9 holes at just over 1,000 yards, and a whole generation of golfers. Obviously, I'm one of them, but they have names like Jerry Pate and Adrian Stills and Joe Durant grew up playing the game of golf at my dad's golf course, and it was a great life. Glamorous, no, but I guess you could say I am lucky enough to have grown up on a golf course. I grew up on a lighted par 3 golf course, which the irony is it took me just past my 50th year of playing the game of golf to get my first hole in one, which being a little, snot-nosed kid going around that golf course playing 5 rounds a day in the summer. Yeah, I have 45 shots at a hole in one. I didn't actually end up having one until I was 52 years old. So Lord works in mysterious ways, Coach.
Marty, I've been playing since I was 5. I thank my dad every day for getting me at the Elms Golf Course in upstate New York, little par 9 that we turned into par 18 with the help of all the members. And I just beat my older brother for the first time in 61 years.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
He shot his age at 66 last year, but his swing was still frozen from the upstate New York north winter, so I got him once.
Hey, exactly. You got to jump on them while they're still cold.
Hey, I'm longer than you. I still have them still looking for my first hole in one. All right, so let's talk about the First Tee Gulf Coast. Long time. Let's talk about some of your head coaches that you have, and they spread out over about 10 courses here in the Panhandle.
Well, yeah, we're actually north of 10 courses. We're at 10 courses this summer. This year, we will program at 16 unique sites, 15 golf courses, plus our home facility, which is in Warrington, 3924 Navy Boulevard. And we have an incredible group of coaches. Some of them are PGA members, and some of them are just very passionate amateurs who just love the game of golf and want to share it with young people. And yeah, our programs run from Mobile, Alabama now. We're in Baldwin County, Alabama at a couple of sites, all the way to Panama City, Florida, where we'll be programming this fall at a course called Nature Walk, and everywhere in between. But when you talk about people like John Walker and Sergeant Joanne Richards and goodness gracious, Alex and Brandon Flores, who are cousins, not brothers, but you grew up in my programs. Most of my coaches are young active retirees are there college kids like Alex and Brandon who came out of our programs and passionate about it, just wanted to stay involved. And that's, one of the things that we're so excited about is we see the value in the young people as they grow up, and as the values of the game are inculcated, they may not necessarily turn into, certainly not professional golfers, maybe not even college golfers, but they're passionate enough about the game that they want to teach other young people and give back. And man, that makes it all worthwhile.
Well, the three pillars of golf in this area, your dad, Downing Gray, who we'll talk about in a little bit, the Gray Cup, and Hiram Cook. Next week, the Cook Family Classic at Tanglewood, sponsored by Air Design Systems, starts out your summer tour. Talk about it. Talk about your first one.
It does. And, the last day to register is actually today. So I'm glad we're doing this today. We've got 87 young people signed up to play in the golf tournament right at this point. It's going to be a great event. I can't say enough about Hiram and Bonnie Cook and the vision that they had building this organization, the Greater Pensacola Junior Golf Association, which is what we are legally. First Tee Gulf Coast, all First Tee chapters are fictitious DBAs. And we all have, like, if you go to the First Tee of Greater Miami, they're legally the Miami-Dade Golf Association. So we're all like that. But we're a little different in that, yes, we teach golf skills and life skills at, 10 to 15 sites around the Panhandle. But this summer tour is pretty cool. We have 6-hole, 9-hole, and 36-hole divisions. The 36-hole kids are obviously the 14 to 18. Mostly, we sometimes have some prodigies who are 13 or 12 who can, go out there. And these are golfers who are better than double bogey golfers. So you can be a bogey golfer, because what we're trying to do is give the older kids an opportunity to get prepped for the high school golf season, which, as you know now, when you and I were in high school, it used to be a spring sport. So I had to give up baseball when I got to high school in order to play golf. But nowadays it's the first sport of the season. I mean, the coaches will have their meeting here at my facility for Escambia, Santa Rosa County. They'll come to the Goofy Golf in Warrington. We'll put out some pizza and some beverages for them, and they'll make their schedules for the whole year here. School starts, they're playing golf a week later. And so what we're trying to do is give them an opportunity, starting honoring Hiram and Bonnie Cook and the Cook family, and also Robin Cook Desarn, who is now at Stonebrook, running Stonebrook, an opportunity to give these kids a chance to play competitive rounds, depending on where they are. The kids in the 9-hole division, 6-hole division, you can't make more than double par in that division. And we modified the rules just slightly to make the game easier on them. And 6-year-olds are certainly not playing 400-yard par fours. They're playing 140-yard par four. So they can hopefully get to the green and a couple of good shots and attempt a few putts. So it's great, but we also have a great legacy, Coach, with that tour, in that Boo Weekley, Heath Slocum, Bubba Watson, and a lot of other great young names grew up playing on that tour. And in fact, the young man who's my tournament director now, his name is Ty Auger. Ty grew up playing on that tour starting at the age of 8, went on to win Divot Derby, went on to play with the First Tee at Pebble Beach on national television. Now he's back in his first full year as my tournament director. And, he's here doing an incredible job giving back.
You're giving back too, Marty. I mean, we've had like 3 or 4 kids from this area go to Pebble Beach and play in that program, right?
We're celebrating 20 years this year, and we've had 7. We've actually had 5 young ladies. Yes, we've had 5 young ladies and 2 young gentlemen go represent us at Pebble Beach. And just to give your viewers some perspective, Coach, Pebble Beach is the holy grail of First Tee participant opportunities. And there are literally, there you go. Yes.
7th hole.
Yeah, there you go. So think about having the opportunity to go to Pebble Beach, 8 days, 7 nights, 5 rounds of golf, 3 on Pebble, 2 on another golf course. Not only do you do that, all of your meals are taken care of. They give you apparel. They give you a brand new golf bag. when you go to practice on the golf range, they put out a wind feather with your name on it that you actually get to keep. And you play in pro-ams with celebrities and CEOs and people from all over the United States. I mean, these kids come back and they're like, Mr. Marty, I played with the CEO of Hewlett Packard. Well, of course you did, because these are the sponsors, right? One of my girls called and said, I played in the practice round with the coolest guy. And he goes, he's on the Golf Channel. And I knew exactly who she was talking about. And, the best part of Pebble Beach is the golf is great and the opportunity is great, but they're now building a network of, there's 80 other young people from all over, not just the United States, but 11 chapters internationally. So there's 81 kids from our roughly 150 chapters. So if you think about the math on that, only about half the chapters get to send one kid. We had 1 year where we had 2 young people qualify. Every other year we've only had 1, but it's the most incredible honor. And the best part of it, Paul, is that it does not cost my chapter a nickel. I don't have to raise a dime for these young people to fly out to Pebble Beach with a parent and to play all this great golf. And they expect them to go out prepared. They talk about what their favorite core value is, whether it's honesty or integrity or courtesy. And they give speeches in front of these donors and sponsors and CEOs. So the headquarters does a great job making it very centric for them. Every one of them has told me how changed they are as a person and come back. And plus, if you think about it, you may play with one kid who's from the Hawaii chapter and another kid who's from, metropolitan New York chapter, and you're making friends all over the country and the world at this event. It's pretty amazing stuff.
It's a bucket list checked off before they're 20 years old.
Before they're even close to graduating from high school. That's the best part. Yeah. You and I have the honor. We can go play there, but we got to stay in the lodge. It's going to cost us $2,000, and the green fee's going to be $500. I got to get a mortgage to go play Pebble Beach, Coach.
Oh my gosh. Greater Pensacola Golf Association Tour events, June 16th, Dr. James Pruitt Memorial Golf Tournament, a 2-person scramble that you have. The 66th annual Divot Derby is coming up.
Yeah. Yes, the Divot Derby is the event we're also incredibly passionate about. I'm especially passionate because it is named after my father. The men's overall trophy is named after my father. That was an honor that was given to my father. My father died of cancer on January 18th of 1981. It was a Sunday morning. He passed about 6 in the morning. At about 2 in the afternoon the day before, Jerry Stevens from Pensacola Sports and Jack Montgomery, who was one of his fellow golf professionals and PGA colleague, went to visit my father and to tell him that they were going to name the Divot Derby trophy after him. And he did not found the Divot Derby. The Divot Derby was founded about 6, 7 years before he got here by Pensacola Sports. But the belief was, and what I have been told, because obviously I was just a little kid. Yes, I played in it from even before I was eligible. They snuck me into the, I was kind of playing in the 10 to 11 division when I was 7 or 8 years old. My father had a great passion for these young kids and to get them out and playing golf. And so he took it on himself to be the tournament director every year. So it's an incredible honor for me. Ty Auger runs the summer tour. He and I will jointly run the Divot Derby, and we'll split because we have so many kids. We'll have probably 120 unique kids play in the GPJGA summer tour. We've had, since I've been here for 14 years now, in the last 14 years, we've had as many as 206 kids register to play in the Divot Derby. So it's almost twice as big. So we split the kids up, take them to different golf courses. Ty will take the younger divisions, he'll have more playing less golf. I'll take the older divisions, so I'll have fewer kids, but they're playing more golf, obviously. 18 holes, 3 days in a row for a 54-hole tournament.
So the summer tour winner gets an invitation to the Downing Gray Cup. Talk a little bit for a couple minutes about A. Downing Gray, the great amateur, and
Yes.
like your dad, one of the the pillars of this community in golf.
Downing is I sit with him and have lunch almost every Sunday afternoon at Pensacola Country Club. Obviously, we have a Florida State connection, golf connection, and he is just one of the game's great gentlemen. And when I first joined Pensacola Country Club, I obviously would see Downing, play a little golf with him now and again. But when I became executive director of the First Tee, the membership came to me and said, we need to do something to honor Downing. And I said, okay, what do we want to do? Well, you help come up with an idea. Okay. So we came up with the idea of having a 2-day golf tournament for the kids and give them multiple ways to qualify into the tournament. And so from each age group, we take the top 5 from the summer tour, the top 3 from the Divot Derby, the top 1 from the Tom Dorsey Winter Classic, which will actually have its 30th playing this December, and all graduating seniors. Because periodically we'll have a young person who plays with us every year, but their game doesn't necessarily get them into the top 5 or top 3. Well, I want that young person, if they're dedicated enough to come play the game with us, I want them to experience, and it costs them nothing to come play. They get a couple of practice rounds.
Oh, wow.
We have a 2-day golf tournament. Mr. Gray comes and personally awards the trophies to all of the kids and says a few words on Tuesday afternoon. And I just can't thank the staff and my fellow members at Pensacola Country Club enough for everything that they do to make this happen, because the course is closed on Mondays, but they basically are giving the course up for half a day on Tuesday and allow us to bring the kids out. And it's a great experience, and it's even greater given that you've got one of the most decorated amateur golfers since Bobby Jones. Man won 7 tournaments in a row at Florida State. By the way, the record is the only other person who's even come close, John Pack, who just recently turned professional out of FSU. John won 8 total tournaments while he was there. He tied for the all-time win total. Downing won 7 in a row. I mean, and then in an era when professional golf was very different in his era, if you harken back to the 50s and 60s. And he followed the gentleman example of Bobby Jones, has done incredibly well in the world of business, 19 U.S. amateurs, 7 masters, and is just one of the greatest influences I've ever had in my life.
My gosh, when you travel, and I've talked to athletes, from this area, and it doesn't matter what sport, they talk about something in the water at Pensacola, but your dad had a lot to do with that early success in golf. And we talked about, the players, Jerry Page, Joe Durant, Heath Slocum, Adrian Stills, Boo Weekley, Bubba Watson, a lot of PGA, especially during that year. Do you get it when you travel, like what's in the water there?
It's amazing when you do talk about Pensacola. Everybody seems to have some connection, and it's different in different places. On my 50th birthday, I got to play Shinnecock, and I walked into the pro shop to introduce myself, and he looked at me. He goes, "Pensacola, where do you play?" I said, "I play at Pensacola Country Club, sir." He goes, "Downing Gray territory." I'm on Long Island, and this man is talking about Downing Gray. I had somebody ask me about Jerry Pate when I was at Firestone. I was at a club in Atlanta, and somebody asked me about Adrian Stills. It's incredible that the connection that when you say something in the water, obviously we've had a lot of incredible NFL football players come out of this region, and that, there's a lot of kudos that have to go to some of the youth development leagues and Albritton and Gant and some of the incredible work that those gentlemen and other leagues and Lumen May and the SYSA and what they do. But yeah, for us to be such a small area and have such an incredible string of professionals, and the fact that of all the people that you're talking about, only Heath Slocum does not live here. I was just texting with Heath the other day. He wants to participate in Derek Brooks's charity tournament coming up in just a few
good.
months. Yeah, and I was communicating with him. You think, what a magnet. Jerry Pate could have put his business anywhere in the world. Adrian Stills, with his pedigree, could have gone and been a teaching professional and made a ton of money anywhere in the world. Joe Durant, still traveling and playing professional golf. Boo Weekley, but we're about to see a lot of him on the Champions Tour hitting the Big 5-0, this summer.
Oh, good.
Well, guess what? They could live anywhere in the world, but they still choose to be here. Even though travel, it adds an extra layer to travel. Heath, when he turns 50, he's going to have Atlanta. He's going to be right there by Hartsfield Airport. He'll be able to jump travel wherever he needs to super quick. When you say there's something in the water, it's not just they came from here, but almost all of them have come back, including Bubba Watson, who travels the world playing golf and as a businessman, and now, of course, captain of his own golf team.
Do you think we will have, because of the, I really believe it's because of the youth programs. Doesn't matter what sport, like you talked about, football, golf, your dad had everything to do with it. Steve Fell, head coach at UWF. What a great job Coach Fell does.
I have known Stevie for a very, very long time, and I will tell you this. He is one of the greatest mentors and coaches that you could ever ask for. And to a person, almost every player that I've ever talked to talks about what he has meant to them as an individual. And going back 20 something years. And I'm so proud to say that we revamped the programs a little bit here to put a little more focus during the summer. Yes, fall and spring, we're running clinics, we're doing instruction. In the summer, I want the kids out playing golf, because the way you get better, it's sort of, there's another tour that runs near us in the region. They don't even make kids hit out of bunkers. They like, oh no, don't try that. Then pick it up, take it out of the bunker. I make kids try it out of the bunker, because you know how you learn to hit out of bunkers, Paul? By hitting out of bunkers.
By hitting out of the bunkers.
And so I think by giving these kids the opportunity, and I've had people come up, it's hot. Yes, it's hot. Get a 3-wheel cart, get the bag off your shoulder, put an umbrella over that's silver reflective. You'll be 15 degrees cooler underneath it. Drink lots of water and hydrate. But yes, it's hot. But guess what? You're going to be tougher at the tail end of it. And I read the scores from all the matches when they have those high school matches. The coaches all come here and set up. I can tell you, I watch those kids play golf all summer. The ones who have been grinding it out all summer are ready to play with the ball. So we have something to do with it. And the best part for me is about 10 years ago, maybe not quite that, but every bit of 7 or 8 years ago, I looked up, and of the 12 young men that were on Steve Fell's roster, 5 of them had come out of our playing programs. Wow. And so for a guy who has a program, let me tell you, I'm not going to demean any Division I program, but would you rather go play golf in Syracuse, New York as a varsity golfer, or would you rather come play it in Pensacola, Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather live down here too, so I am.
Exactly. So the reality is that as a high level Division II program, and yes, and there's Lee and some of the other schools in Florida and Barry, there are other schools, Division II, Division III, that can recruit because of their geographical location and the quality of the courses, and especially the quality of the weather. But, if you look at what Steve has done, you have to think this. Steve has had a lot of opportunities to go somewhere else if he wanted to. There is no question that a big D1 program with more resources, paying him more, would take him to go anywhere he wanted almost in the United States. I'm not saying that Oklahoma State and Florida would have come calling, but he decided to stay here and build a legacy, and he has done an incredible job of building a legacy of young men. Now, Kristen Dorsey, who I've known since she was 6 years old, and I watched her grow up in these programs, is now doing the exact same thing with the ladies program. You mark my words. I mean, Steve's not done winning national championships as a coach. Kristen Dorsey isn't either. And when Kristen actually called me and said, I want to take you to lunch, which is backwards of how it normally works with these kids. Okay. And she dropped the bomb on me to tell me that she was no longer going to pursue a playing career, but she accepted the job as women's coach. I told her one thing, Coach. I said, now you're going to have one choice, because in a few years, schools like Kansas State, where you played as an undergraduate, or even Eastern Kentucky, where she played as a graduate student and won an individual Ohio Valley Conference championship and took them to their first ever NCAA regional tournament, said, you're going to have those same requests. Are you going to stay here and you're going to build a legacy, or are you going to go somewhere else and take the buck? Because you're not going to have the resources that you may be at a bigger school, but you will absolutely have the success. There's no doubt in my mind.
Wow. That's good stuff, Marty. It's always a pleasure to have you on. I wish we had more time to talk about the PGA Tour. Real quick, there's more parity in the PGA Tour now there's no Hogan, Palmer, Nicklaus, or Tiger, but there seems to be plenty of Trevino's players and Tom Watson's.
Well, I honestly believe that you can thank Tiger Woods for that. You know, we're 6 years apart in age, and the game is totally different because of Tiger. But if you look at, and you talk about the tour, and you look at Rory, and you look at Justin, and you look at this entire generation of young, talented golfers, virtually every one of them. I'll never forget Tom Wargo when he was on the Champions Tour looking at me. He goes, we used to all just drink and smoke cigars, and then we struggle to get up the next day in the best man. These guys, they're in peak physical condition. They have trainers with them. They have their coaches with them. They have their dietitian with them.
Oh yeah,
they're not they're not going out for beer and burger night. No. Nothing like that is absolutely happening. So what's happening is they are totally focused on the job at hand. And you can thank Tiger for all of that. If you've ever read Earl Woods Training a Tiger, there's a whole generation of dads who stuck their kids in golf about the age of 6 and raised their young men. And you could even argue it's carried over to there's an incredible level of parity in women's golf as well. They have raised golfers who are so laser focused on the quality of the product. That's where the parity has come from. Tiger moved the needle. Yeah. Is there going to be another golfer come in and move the needle again? I don't know, because I think not only it wasn't that Tiger moved the needle, Tiger was the needle.
He was. Good point. You're right about all that, Marty. It's a joy. Have a great summer. Have a great summer tour. I hope to see you real soon in person.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate everything you do.
Thanks for coming on, Marty. Marty Stanovich, Executive Director. How to get a hold of you guys? Give them, Marty, First Tee Gulf Coast.
Yes, sir. firsttgulfcoast.org is our website. Everything about all of our programs for all level of kids, ages 5 to 18 are there. And then always give us a call, 456-7010 right here in the 850, or come by and see us at the historic 1958 Goofy Golf that's right next to my office. It's pretty cool. It's full of kids and adults out there right now enjoying their summer vacation.
Boy, thankful for you and your dad. I remember that par 3 golf course.
We'll
be right back. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back after these short messages from our sponsors. Thanks for watching, everybody.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at hillkellydodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We sell fun for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time. Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner.
Given the choice, we'd choose new over old anytime. Snap our fingers and undo years of wear and tear that every home endures. Thankfully, First Choice Home Improvement turns ugly into unugly almost overnight. First-rate materials, low prices. The transformation is unbelievable. First Choice Home Improvements, your unofficial headquarters for turning ugly into unugly. Call them today, 476-8887. Online at firstchoicehomeimprovements.com.
Your first choice is the best choice, so make your choice First Choice.
For over 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352. 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.